Hi! I'm Rachel.
I'm Noel.
We, on our channel, are sharing projects that you can do in a weekend, which is pretty ironic for today because we're working on our screen and porch, which it's been a little bit longer than a weekend.
But if you break it up into mini projects, which create a larger project, then you understand. We've never done what we're about to do today, which is one of the final steps of the screen and porch.
Yeah, I think it's mid-October now, and we started this project mid-May.
It just took some time, and we didn't have the right tools.
And someone was gone all summer.
And someone was gone all summer.
So really you've only devoted probably like 4 days of work to this project. Yeah. And we're sitting in it right now, so it's our screened-in porch. When we bought this house about 2 years ago, this porch is pretty terrible. I mean, honestly, a lot of our house is just kind of poorly built. Wasn't built too long ago, like 20 years ago?
2004.
15 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's just like builder grade, completely. And the porch was kind of a rush job.
It was just stapled. So they just stapled screens on it. They didn't caulk anything either, so that means there's like holes in the wood or between boards, or even like where they set up the trim to put the screens. It wasn't flush. You know, they were probably using somewhat cheap wood to do it. They weren't all level. They were warped and everything.
There were like a lot of spiders and like wasps building homes in here, and we basically couldn't use it at all because what's the point of having a screen and porch when there were literally more bugs inside the porch than there were outside of it because they would come in and then get caught in here.
So what we're going to do today is we're just going to caulk the holes. So whenever you have any kind of boards or anything like outdoor side project where you want like a super good seal, you know, you can use screens, but even with all screens in, you're going to have some warping of wood. Or if you have two boards next to each other, like on a deck, like a screen and porch on a deck, what happens between that tiny little gap between two boards, right? Or 3 boards or 10 boards, whatever it might be. Well, that's where bugs can still get into. They can crawl right up there and they're inside the porch. So what we're going to do is we're going to put some caulk on it. So I'm going to show Rachel how to use a caulk gun, and she is going to work, we are going to work because we have 2 caulk guns. We're going to work together and we're going to caulk the screen and porch to make sure we have an awesome seal and critters can no longer get into the porch. So let's start with the caulk itself. So we're going to use the Dynaflex Ultra. So this stuff is pretty good. It's like almost $7 a bottle. I'm not sure how much we're going to need, so I bought 3 of brown and 3 of clear. We're going to do brown, whether it's the brown wood of the deck. And then we're going to go ahead and do clear where there's the white painted wood, and then we can paint over it. So this stuff is weatherproof. It's pretty good. It's pretty solid. You can get stuff that's it's only $1.50 as well. It's much cheaper, but it doesn't have a lifetime guarantee. It's not weatherproof. It's not waterproof. So it's kind of a gamble to see if it'll work for you. So I think it's probably better just to go with the tougher stuff. So you need this. The other thing that you're going to need is you're going to need a caulk gun. You're going to need some other tiny little things as well to make your life easier. A utility knife will help. And then you're going to need some sort of trimmer, something where you can kind of take the excess off and put it on a paper towel or something like that so you don't have caulk looking all nasty and sticking out. Something that's nice and flat.
You don't want nasty caulk.
No, you don't want nasty caulk at all. It's a fucking bad idea. That's what this little guy is for. I've used this for a ton of little projects, painting, drywall, etc. But it's good for caulk. Okay. So let's talk about the caulk. Now, there's something called a bead.
I swear I'll get through this video without laughing every time you say caulk.
There's something called a bead. A bead is how big you want the caulk to be. Now, bigger is not always better. Sometimes you need a little bit of a bead for a little tiny caulk, right? There's 2 ways to cut this bead. So on some of these caulk tools, you see right there, you see that little hole? When you press the caulk forward, there's a little razor in there, and it's going to cut the bead for you. You typically want something at a 45-degree angle. If you want a bigger hole, all you got to do is cut it lower. If you want a smaller hole, you cut it higher. Okay? So bigger hole, higher, sort of smaller, and then a smaller hole higher. So you can use the...
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I'm talking about making a bead.
Okay.
Okay, so you need to cut this, right, in order for it to start?
Do I need scissors?
No, that's why I would just explain, my love. You've got a cutter on the gun.
Sorry, I forgot
there.
that I'm supposed to pay attention.
Yeah, you're supposed to pay attention. Or if you don't have a cutter, so this gun right here doesn't have a cutter, right? This one does. You can use the utility knife. Now, obviously, you're probably just going to use this because it's a little easier.
Yeah.
But I just want to show
But
you.
you only have to do it once?
Per bottle. Yeah.
Okay.
So all we're going to do is.
I mean, why would they build that into the tool? Why not just buy scissors? Never mind. You're right. Just go.
Well, you mean you don't like the idea that it's built into the tool?
No, it's kind of cool, but it just seems like a lot of like extra work to put that into the tool.
It is. That's why I don't really think necessarily you need a $15 caulk gun.
It's pretty fancy.
This $10 caulk gun is just as good, and the utility knife's like $2, and you can use it for a lot of things. Okay, so since we do have the tool, you stick it in there, right, and then you just press the trigger, and then you've got your.
Is it caulk like it's like one-time use caulk, or can you like close the bottle and use it again later?
It's like one-time use. Now that you've got your hole in the top, the next thing you do is you need to puncture the foil in it. So this caulk is held together like inside of some sort of foil.
This has a built-in tool for that too, doesn't it?
It's got a built-in tool for that too. Now, of course, if you want to go all cheapo here, you can just get a very large nail or something like that. So you just stick this little silver thing inside the caulk, and you puncture it. Okay. No idea what that noise was. Once you do that, you can see that there's some brown caulk on my tool there, so you know you successfully punctured it, and now this thing is ready to roll, ready to start caulking. Now, in order for you to use this tool, and I'm going to go ahead and switch to a nice and clean tool for my beautiful wife. She deserves the best. All you do, pay attention, my love.
Yes.
Go ahead and put your caulk in the tool, right? And in order to make the stuff come out, you press the trigger. As you press it, it's going to put the plunger forward. So let's see how it looks like without the caulk. Pushes the plunger forward. Right?
Okay.
If you need it, let's say you need to back off of it for whatever reason, all you do is press the back, and then you can bring this back.
Okay.
Okay? So I'm going to push it forward till it can't go anymore. And now, if I press this plunger forward, you're going to start seeing a little bit of caulk come out. And now it came out. And that's the bead. Okay? I want to show you guys what I'm talking about, these tiny little holes. You see this board right there, there's a little tiny gap, a small little gap, right? There's another board, there's a small little gap. Board, small little gap. You can actually see in the screen porch from this hole. So all these little gaps that we see along there are entry points for bugs and critters that are going to get into our screen porch. So what Rachel's going to do, she's going to take this caulk gun, she's going to stick it in that hole, and she's just going to apply a layer of the caulk in there. That's it. And then you're going to go throughout all the sides, and you're just going to keep applying a little.
And it like doesn't fit.
Right. It's not perfect.
Oh.
So you're going to apply a little layer of caulk, right? And then we're going to take that putty knife, that little tool, and then we can clean it up. Now it dries in an hour.
Okay.
So it's fast. So it probably apply
So
a
you
little bit.
wait for it to dry and then you use the tool?
No. I would use the tool right away. So let's say you have this big glob, right? And you want to clean up this glob. So what you don't want to do is you don't want it to dry this way. It just doesn't look very good. And you have to take a utility knife and cut it. And it's a lot harder to cut something than it is to just scrape it off. It's kind of like a little squeegee. Put it on your paper towel.
I think I'm going to need a lot more paper towel.
Yeah, you probably need a little more paper towels. Like that. Now that's the hard part. It comes with a little bit of a metal part in case you do need to make some more cuts or be a little more aggressive. And then if you need to be less aggressive, it comes with this rubber part too. So this rubber part you can get into small little crevices, what have you, and get stuff out. The same thing down here. So like down there, maybe you don't want to put the hard plastic on there because it's a little bit of wood. You can use the squeegee it out. And there we go. And that'll dry like that.
Should this entire hole be filled?
No, it doesn't have to be. The reason why this one was a little bit easier is because there was a bigger gap. So, so your caulk could fit in there, and you can just throw it in there, and then when it dries, it's going to seal. The reasons why this is more sticking out is because it's such a tighter little hole that you couldn't put the caulk gun in there. Now, another thing you could do is you could try to put a little squeegee in there and cut it out, but I wouldn't even worry about it. I think it's just fine just like that. Unless for some reason you wanted uniformity, then I guess you could fill it. But this isn't a filler, it's just, it's just a silicone.
Gotcha.
And then we need to cut the caps and pop the caps in with a hammer. That part's pretty fast. It was very fast. Oh wow, you do need a lot more.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can some of this. Yeah, and that's the thing is about this stuff. A good thing about buying the expensive is you can paint over it.
Okay.
Whereas the really cheap stuff that was like $1. Like I went to Lowe's today and this guy was like, "Oh, I can't believe they have this for $1." But I mean, I don't want to have my whole house looking like white caulk.
This isn't working.
Mm-hmm.
It's not coming. Oh, I didn't puncture it.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Okay. Just pop it out and puncture it with the one you have right there.
It's like, why isn't this working? Shit.
I'm gonna help you.
I fucked up. Well, I fucked up. It like burst from the bottom.
That's okay. We're going to still use it. We'll just lose a little bit of it.
The one that we said we didn't have enough of.
It's okay. I wasn't smart like our watchers watched the YouTube video on it. I just did it. Not punctured.
Alright, so we've lost about half this tube of caulk now.
Yeah.
So we like kind of finished with the caulk, and by kind of finished with the caulk, I mean I got really hot and hungry, so I quit. But Noel's gonna keep going a little bit, and we're taking a little break to go and check out the chickens. We're gonna go see the work that we did in our last video. If you haven't seen that video, it's me learning how to use a table saw to help with our chicken run. So if you haven't seen that yet, go check it out now.
Alright, so my friend Gabe and I finished this up yesterday.
Chickens, shh, we're trying to talk.
Trying to talk chickens. We put hardware cloth everywhere, so this is completely encased in 1/4-inch hardware cloth. And then, on top of that, there's actually hardware cloth underneath it. So little raccoons can actually operate a latch. They say that raccoons can operate anything that a 3-year-old can operate, and Ellie cannot do a combination lock. So we have this combination lock here, and that is just simply to keep this thing closed. Also make sure that the kids don't open this up, the dogs don't open this up. I'd rather just not have a hook or a zip tie or something like that. Just a simple lock. Got the combination written up there, got the combination written behind the lock. Alright, so inside the coop.
I'm good.
Okay, make sure they don't come out.
No, no, no!
How do you have one job?
No! Shut.
You have one job, Rachel.
Ew. Oh god.
Alright, so we put a couple studs over there so they can hang out on the studs. We got their I could still break this open with my fist.
Would you though? Or would you just hang out until I let you out? I'm pretty sure there's like an Angelina Jolie movie about this.
Probably. And then on the chicken coop, we opened up. This was also surrounded by hardware cloth. The coop, we did something different. We buried hardware cloth under the ground. So the coop is pretty stable, but also it can't move. I kind of like doing the floor hardware cloth because now we can move the shed whenever we want to. It's obviously going to take like 3 or 4 people, but it's possible. And then we opened up this and we made a tunnel. So then there's a tunnel to the coop. So
pretty cool.
The chickens can get it to in there and out. And then we just have the water set up here.
Honey, don't let the chickens out. Well, that's all we have for you today. I don't know what our next project's going to be.
Figure it out. There's plenty of stuff to do.
We should build the closet.
Yeah, we could.
Although that's like a big undertaking.
It is.
Stay tuned. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not already. We'd like that. Give this video a thumbs up if you think you could make it through this video with less giggling and caulk innuendos. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
See?
You don't like the kisses?
No, you have chicken poop all over your hands.
I didn't touch my hands.